Now on BBC One Scotland, Network East.
Coming up in this week's show, EastEnders raising money for Bangladesh. Ghazals with a touch of jazz, the magic of Najma Akhtar. How to look your best with Body Best. Plus our video top 10 and new movie. Hello. As you've probably gathered, we're back to our normal magazine format after 3 weeks of specials. And we begin right here in Birmingham. A 6-month-old dispute within the Sparkhill branch of the Labour Party has escalated into a major row, creating bitter divisions. The quarrel, which is growing more acrimonious by the day, centres on the way a Labour Party candidate was chosen to contest the municipal elections in May this year. This report by David Maestri.
One accepts certain amount of irregularities, but not to at such a scale as it happened this time in this election meeting.
And just trying to wheel people along to a meeting to stick their hands up without any debate does not seem to me to be a terribly good way of running a political party.
I think it's totally reprehensible for people to discuss internal party matters with the media. But since the allegations, I understand, are being made on camera, I must entirely refute them.
Sparkbrook, an inner-city constituency in Birmingham, has been represented by the Labour Party for over 2 decades. Sparkhill is one of the 3 wards that make up the constituency. Since the mid-60s, Sparkhill's Asian population has risen steadily with an influx of immigrants from Pakistan. Conservative estimates are that Asians now account for close on 10,000 of Sparkhill's 18,000 voters, forming a significant political bloc. Sparkhill is considered a safe Labour ward, with all 3 sitting councillors drawn from the party. But now, it is being racked by serious infighting. At the heart of the dispute are the events surrounding 2 Labour Party meetings held here on the 24th and 31st of March this year. A vacancy had arisen on the City Council because the tenure of the sitting Labour Party councillor, Mick Rice, had expired. The meetings were held to select a Labour Party candidate to contest the municipal election on May the 6th. At the first meeting on the 24th of March, 4 members, Mick Rice, Ghulam Shah, Raja Suleiman and Muhammad Arif, were nominated. A vote was taken to shortlist 3 of them and Mick Rice was eliminated. At the next meeting, a vote was taken to select one of the 3 as the official Labour candidate, and Mr. Raja Suleiman was chosen. Mick Rice, who had not been reselected, claimed that the first meeting had been improperly conducted.
There were people at the meeting who were ineligible to vote, and we now have evidence which indicates that about half a dozen or so people were in attendance who should not have been in attendance at that meeting and participating in it.
An inquiry was conducted by the Labour Party. It found that the meeting had not been unfair and dismissed Mr. Rice's allegations. But it failed to satisfy some of the members of the Sparkhill branch. 3 of them, Margaret Haggerty, Maria Kay and Kevin Scally, took legal action to have the meeting declared unconstitutional. The issue is still before the High Court. The selection meeting a week later was even more contentious. Ghulam Shah, a member of the Constituency Management Committee, the ruling body which is made up of delegates from all 3 wards, as well as trade union delegates, claimed that again there were serious irregularities.
At the selection meeting, the problems are even greater. First of all, when the meeting was taking place, there were people going in who were not eligible in that they didn't have 12 months membership of the Labour Party. Secondly, it was quite obvious there were people going in who had not paid anything at all to be a member of the Labour Party. Thirdly, there were some people who were impersonating, and it was quite obvious that they were going in place of other people's. They were carrying other people's cards.
Network East investigated the allegations and has uncovered some disturbing facts. According to party rules, only those who have been paid-up members for at least 12 months are eligible to attend the selection meetings. We found a student who had been a paid-up member for just 6 months. Not only did he attend the meetings, but he also voted at them.
I joined the Labour Party in 1986, but I was asked to reapply for 1987 because my membership was not fully paid up. And I reapplied, and I received my membership card in October 1987, and I attended and voted at the shortlisting and selection meetings in March 1988.
Comparing the attendance list at the shortlist meeting with the membership list, we discovered that a number of other members who had only recently joined also voted at the meeting. Stranger still, however, is the case of Mr. Shaukat Ali, who runs a restaurant in Birmingham. The attendance list shows that he was at the meeting, but when we tracked him down, he denied it was his signature.
Yes, actually, I am a member of the local Labour Party, but unfortunately, on the day of the shortlisting meeting, I was in London.
Somebody else, it seems, attended the meeting in place of Mr. Ali. Network East also found that a number of membership cards had been issued in suspicious circumstances. Did you pay any subscriptions this year?
No.
So you didn't apply for a new membership card?
No.
Can you explain this card to me? Is that your name on the card?
Yes, it is my name.
How do you think somebody got this card?
I can tell you, if you can tell. You are the one who's got it.
But you didn't apply for this card, Mr. Shabir?
No, not this year.
You don't know anything about this card?
I know nothing about it.
We contacted officials of the Spark Hill Labour Party branch in an effort to clear up the discrepancies, but they refused to comment. So we put the allegations to Councillor Stanley Yap, chairman of the constituency Labour Party.
Everything that could have been done was done by bringing in outside observers to check, and a lot of time was taken. And beforehand, separate meetings, we call them carding meetings, took place, so that everyone who would be entitled could come and establish their credentials.
We checked and found that a procedure to validate membership had certainly been initiated late last year and before the meetings were held. Members, in fact, had been requested to fill in special validation forms. Network East has discovered that several members did not follow the procedure for validation. Restaurant worker Sajid Ali certainly did not have his credentials scrutinized.
So I am a member from 1986 with the Labour Party. And last year I was supposed to be filling a validation form, which I didn't, but I still got my membership card. I also attended the shortlist and the selection meetings.
As far as I know, if there is any valid accusation against a named individual, it would not have affected the result. As I say, Spark Hill and the Spark constituency generally, we are involved in communicating with people, and therefore we do have a number of members much greater than other parties, and difficulties are bound to arise from time to time.
Finally, we tried to contact Mr. Raja Suleiman, the member who had been selected at the meetings and subsequently elected a councillor. We wanted to get his view of the situation. After several visits to his home, however, we discovered that Councillor Suleiman had left for Pakistan, and it was not clear when he would return. Documents available, however, indicate that last year he had been a trade union delegate on the constituency's management committee, which oversees all 3 wards. But when we approached officials of the General and Municipal Workers' Union, they denied this. In a written statement, they said,
"The secretary of Tyseley 288 branch wrote to Mr. Suleiman to arrange for payment of his union subscriptions. Mr. Suleiman did so. From that time to the present, Mr. Suleiman has never attended any meetings of Tyseley 288 branch. Mr. Suleiman has never been appointed or elected to any position within the GMB by Tyseley 288 branch. Mr. Suleiman has never been delegated to any constituency Labour Party.
Mr. Suleiman has missed a series of council meetings, and it is uncertain when he will return from Pakistan. Meanwhile, many of the members in the Spark Hill branch are becoming increasingly anxious about the situation.
I think there are fundamental issues of principle at stake. The Labour Party has rules, and I think we should abide by those rules.
I think it's important and rather urgent that the National Executive should look at the whole running of the constituency, including the Spark Hill branch membership problem.
Next Tuesday, over 100 restaurants in East London and across the country will participate in an evening for Bangladesh to raise money for the country's flood victims. This appeal, which has been organised by the Bangladeshi community and War on Want, will be supported by a galaxy of stars who will be working in many of the restaurants that evening. Who knows, you could be lucky enough to have Glenda Jackson take your coat, or better still, that well-known former EastEnder Tom Watt, alias Lofty, serve you your curry. Hello, Tom.
Hello. Better still, better than Glenda Jackson? No, I don't think so.
How did you get involved in this appeal?
Well, curry, of course, really. I spend an awful lot of time in Bangladeshi restaurants all over the country, and I'm quite good friends with a young man by the name of Amin Ali, who you may know, who owns the Red Fort down in London, who's involved with War on Want. And I think it was probably 2 or 3 months before he actually took the plunge and decided that he was going to get the evening for Bangladesh off the ground. Before he'd started anything, he'd given me the tap on the shoulder and said, you can get involved. And obviously it was something that, you know, you read about in the papers and hear from Bangladeshi friends about the situation back in Bangladesh, and something that once you know about, and once you see what a good idea the evening is, it's something that, as you said, is being organised by the Bangladeshi community, so that you can help something that's already alive and well and kicking within the community that obviously relates directly to the community back in Bangladesh. Then it's something I was very, very happy to get involved with.
Great. Now, Andy, you've just come back from Bangladesh and you're War on Want's Programme Officer for Asia. In the aftermath of the flood disaster, what are the present conditions like?
Well, these have been the worst floods in the country's history, and large areas of the area have been devastated. But what we have to remember, first of all, is that floodwaters don't hit everybody equally, and that in these floods, as in other disasters, it's the poor who've been affected most. They've lost more land, they've lost more resources, their lives have been devastated. They're now having to take money at ridiculously high interest levels, 600% I heard in one place, from money lenders, which they know they can't pay back, and then they're going to lose their property at the end of all this. So what we need now is significant sums of money, large sums of money if possible, to channel through to our Bangladeshi partners in the area who can respond to the immediate needs and focus, which is more important, on the long-term programmes which are essential now.
Tom, so we've heard how bad the conditions are, and obviously lots of money is needed.
Yeah.
What exactly is going to happen on Tuesday to raise some of this money?
Well, to some extent, that's anybody's guess. I think very much. I mean, one of the attractions of the evening is that it is a very kind of, although it's obviously getting national publicity, the evening itself will be a very localised thing. Whatever goes on in a particular restaurant will be up to your local restaurant, as it were. But at the moment, there are about 100 restaurants involved, where, I mean, the bottom line is that all the evening's profits will go directly to the War on Want Bangladesh flood appeal. Now, in each restaurant, what will actually happen is so-called celebrities and people like that will obviously turn up, be, as you say, helping out in the kitchen or, you know, waiting on table or what have you. I mean, it's a thing that's already set up with 100 or so participating restaurants, but it is something that's, you know, growing right up until next Tuesday. There's obviously room for other restaurants to get involved. I mean, get down their local curry house and say, are you participating? Why not? You know.
Are there going to be any other events apart from the celebrities?
Yes, plenty. I mean, I've come across lots. There are going to be, you know, benefit performances of stage shows and things like that. I'm actually playing on December the 11th. It's probably to run off the curry I get through on next Tuesday. I'm taking part in a charity football match at Barnet Football Club, which is the charity side that I helped to run. It's made up of members of the cast of EastEnders against the Showbiz 11 at Barnet up in North London, which all the proceeds from that game
will also
go to the appeal. Yeah.
Assuming that a lot of money is made, Andy, where is this money exactly going to?
Well, we have been working in Bangladesh since independence, and we work directly through our long-term partners who are Bangladeshi local organisations. They have long-term experience of working with the poor on a day-to-day basis with or without floods. So what their main focus is to work with the landless and the poor, women and men, to try and develop community strength, community resilience, community programmes, so that in their battle against poverty they can be stronger and more secure, and in the battle against the aftermath of the floods, that they have a better chance of getting a stronger future.
Can you sort of give us in more detail how will that stronger future be built? I mean, what exactly are these organisations going to do?
A simple example. I visited a village called Shagata in just on the banks of the Jamuna, Brahmaputra. There, the landless women's groups were organising house rebuilding programmes, working on a collective basis. They were leasing in land to cultivate farming vegetables. This gave them income, labour, and of course access to food for the future. And most importantly, it provided a base of confidence, of optimism, which they could then go on to confront the future on a better footing. Because we have to remember, in these floods, the rich have got richer, the poor have got poorer, and so the programmes must be focused on the poor.
Tom, briefly, what are you going to be doing on the night?
What am I going to be doing? Well, very unfortunately, I'm actually double booked that evening, and earlier in the evening I will be playing football to raise money for a completely different, for a small community theatre group in South London. So I will be taking an enormous appetite along to, well, the Red Fort probably, and also a restaurant called the Raj Brasserie in Tottenham Court Road. And I'll be, once I've fed my face, I'll be getting on with helping everybody else to enjoy it.
Tom, Andy, thanks very much, and all the very best of luck on the night. Thank you.
Thanks.
Salaam Bombay is the title of the latest film from Indian-born filmmaker Meera Nair. The film is about the homeless street children of Bombay who inhabit the underworld of the city's red light district. Meera Nair's film has won her glowing notices and even the prestigious Camera d'Or Prize at the Cannes Film Festival. Although the film was shot in Bombay, Meera lives mostly in New York. It's there that Tom Brooke caught up with her when Salaam Bombay was screened recently at the New York Film Festival.
Salaam Bombay was one of the highlights of the New York Film Festival, yet its content is a world apart from the glitz and glamour of the opening night crowd. The film is about the street children of Bombay, children who are abandoned, homeless and destitute. What director Meera Nair wanted to portray in her film is the children's strong desire to survive.
The film, for me, is about really the spirit of survival in street children who, regardless of the fact that they have such a, on a certain level, impossibly difficult life, survive that life with an enormous amount of resourcefulness and flamboyance and dignity. And it is that spark to keep going on that finally is what the film is about.
Although professional actors were used for the adult roles, the children in the film actually came from the streets of Bombay.
We talked to kids for about 3 weeks saying that we were doing a play about kids, you know, and would they like to take part, and it would be a job. And 130 children showed up, and we chose 24 from them after a week's worth of work, and then worked with the 24 kids for about 6 weeks, 6 days a week, 9 hours a day, very rigorous, but a lot of fun. Basically a program of improvisation, mime, dance, exercise, discussion of things that were important to them, creating a spirit that was both intimate and trustful, but also very rigorous, and trying to understand then what is acting and then what is cinema. We used the video a lot, you know, recording and showing kids that what I was after was subtlety and naturalism and being themselves, as opposed to this sort of declamatory style of overblown acting that is a staple of our Indian cinema.
The children's performances are powerful. They hold up well even in difficult surroundings. This scene was shot in one of Bombay's so-called chiller rooms, reform institutions where street children are held by the authorities. Young Manju is being visited by her mother, a prostitute, accompanied by her pimp.
चलेगी?
The film has been enthusiastically received virtually everywhere it's been shown. In New York, the critics raved about it. Earlier this year in France, at the Cannes Film Festival, it won Best First Feature Prize. Mira Nair thinks there are reasons why Salaam Bombay has such strong international appeal.
It's a universal situation, it's a universal story, and the children sort of go across borders. You know, they are, it's a poignant situation which is happening in our own backyards, wherever we are. I mean, this film could very well have been called Salaam Bronx, you know, or Salaam Brixton, you know. It's very similar. It's not something which is exotic and anthropological and you're looking at these people like they're specimens. We have created an authentic film specifically about India, but it is also about our own universe.
What kind of a response do you think the film will have when it is shown in India? Because it's quite different from mainstream Indian filmmaking, isn't it?
I hope they sell tickets in the black market. I hope it'll be that successful. I mean, it's really created for primarily for an Indian audience, and I feel from the few screenings we've had that the story and the drama is so compelling that people are laughing and crying sort of at the same time. The film is very funny. It's funnier in Hindi, you know, it's funnier when you know the language.
For the Bombay street children who took part in making the film, it must have been a heady experience. An effort has been made to make it more than just that, to bring about some lasting change in their lives.
We have worked with the children full-time since we ended shooting, basically offering them and asking them to determine for themselves what they would like to do with their lives. We never entered this whole process wanting to reform them in any way or wanting to, you know, they had to determine for themselves what they wanted, and we would be there to help them do that. So 5 of the children have gone home, for instance, to their villages. 4 are now in school. 1 kid who's artistic teaches sculpture to other children, blind children. 4 older children have jobs in a film company, and some are footloose and fancy-free, you know. Well, it is astonishing, really, the success of it so quickly.
Mira Nair is hard at work promoting the film, attending premieres, fielding questions at press conferences, trying to convince people that even the abandoned children on the streets of Bombay are worthy of respect.
They are, you know, people to be looked at as people, as human beings, that you cannot be invisible or numb to this situation, and not just Bombay, anywhere, you know, that here is a strong, totally skilled, resourceful, incredibly gifted universe, children on the streets, you know, that have to be given back their childhood or allowed to be children and learn.
Salaam Bombay will open in Britain in the new year.
And the film's already had a brilliant response when it previewed at the National Film Theatre, so do go along and see it. From designing high-fashion women's wear to producing high-quality menswear, Body Best, an East London clothing company which is setting the pace in cool cotton and silk. Formed by the Das brothers in 1983, here's a sneak preview of their new menswear collection, which will be launched in January.
Because
body best at their best, and their clothes will be available at major retail stores from the end of January. And now we move swiftly on to the video top 10. Crashing down to 10 from the number 4 spot is Bivi Ho To Aisi, in which Rekha plays a pauper to teach her mother-in-law a lesson. Also on its way out is Sone Pe Sohaga at 9, an adventure movie with Jitendra and Sridevi. Mera Farz drops to 8. It also stars Sridevi as, believe it or not, a CID sleuth, with new boy Nagarunjan playing her sidekick. Steady at number 7 is Dimple in Zakhmi Aurat, the controversial film which has Dimple doing unmentionable things to her enemies, not one for the squeamish. And at 6 is Aag Ke Sholay, a tale of revenge against dacoits, starring Vijaya Pandit and Hemant Birja. At 5, it's Love Among the Stars, including Parveen Babi and the late Smita Patil. Akarshan's the title of this masala feature with a long shelf life. Down 2 places is Wo Phir Aayegi, a tale of demonic possession starring Rajesh Khanna and Moon Moon Sen. Falling from number 1, it's that woman Dimple again in Mera Shikar, in which she becomes a martial arts expert. Zooming in straight to 2 is Paap Ko Jalakar Raak Kar Dunga, with Dharmendra playing the vengeful cop and Govinda his murdered buddy. But at number 1 this week, it's Dayavan with Feroz Khan, Vinod Khanna and Madhuri Dixit.
And you can see a clip from Dayavan in a minute, as it's our new movie this week. The ghazal occupies a unique place in the poetry and music of the Indian subcontinent. Add elements of jazz, and what do you get? British-based Najma Akhtar with her new album, Kareeb. She recently made history by being the first Asian to top the bill at Ronnie Scott's in London.
जिक्र है अपना महफिल महफिल जिक्र है अपना महफिल महफिल ऐ गमे जाना ऐ गमे दौरा राज नहीं अब हादसाए दिल राज नहीं अब हादसाए दिल ऐ गमे जाना ऐ गमे दौरा
dulcet tones of Najma Akhtar, and for her fans, there's good news of yet another album on the way. Now, here's what's on next week's show. Should we call ourselves Black or Asian? A growing debate. Jazz and painting, the work of Sharon Lachman. Plus, Sri Lanka, we preview the forthcoming presidential elections.
Now it's time for our new movie. It's Dayavan, which is at #1 in the video top 10.
It stars Vinod Khanna, Feroz Khan and Madhuri Dixit. It's a mixture of glamour, romance, lots of it, and revenge. Until next week, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
चाहे मेरी जान तो ले ले, चाहे ईमान